All right, big news for Diablo IV. A brand new champion has just been announced, and today we're going to break down everything you need to know about the mighty Paladin. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, so the official announcement kicks off with this line, and wow, that just sets an absolutely epic tone, right? You immediately get this vibe of righteous power, of destiny, for a warrior of divine justice.
So there it is. A new hero is officially joining the fight against, well, all the darkness and sanctuary. But here's the thing. Before we can really get into what the Paladin does, we gotta understand who they are.
First up, let's talk about their creed. Because this isn't just a new class you pick from a menu, you know? It's a calling. It's a whole philosophy forged by a pretty unique order.
Okay, so here's the backstory. Paladins hail from this faction called the Wardens of Light. Now, this group was actually founded by a former Zakharum Paladin who was dead set on not repeating the mistakes of the past, where all the leaders got corrupted. So their mission? It's super simple and clear. Just roam Sanctuary and stamp out evil and injustice wherever they find it.
Now, this is a really important detail, how they define the light. See, in Diablo IV, it's not about praying to some specific god. It's actually this universal force that's inside every single human. A paladin taps into that power through faith, but it's faith in themselves and their own good intentions. Pretty cool twist on the classic lore.
And everything they do is guided by these 5 core virtues. You've got valor, justice, hope, fate, and wisdom. This whole creed is what keeps them from being controlled by any one group or church. It's how they stay as these independent protectors of the world.
Okay, so we know who they are, we know why they fight. Now let's get to the really good stuff. How they actually bring that heavenly justice down on the battlefield. So, you've got your classic sword and shield, of course. But, and this is a big deal, they're also bringing an entirely new weapon type to Diablo IV, the flail. That is a huge addition, and it's probably going to give their melee combat this really unique, weighty feel.
And here's just a little taste of how versatile they are. You've got Zeal, which lets you attack with blinding speed. Then there's the iconic Blessed Hammer, just spiraling through hordes of demons. You need mobility? Falling Star lets you literally soar into the air and crash down. And then Consecration. It's this awesome area of effect that heals your friends and burns your enemies at the same time.
But it's not all about just smashing things. A huge part of the Paladin's identity is group support, and that comes in the form of auras, which are these constant buffs that help out the Paladin and, really, anyone fighting with them.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Each aura has this cool dual function. So take Fanaticism, for example. Passively, it's always on, giving you more attack speed and crit chance. But then you can actively trigger it to instantly weaken every enemy around you. Same deal with Defiance. Passive defense all the time, but hit the active button and you become unstoppable. It adds this amazing layer of tactical depth to the gameplay. Okay, let's get into customization. The main way you're going to shape your Paladin's playstyle is by swearing an oath. Think of this as their unique specialization system.
So this really becomes the central question you have to answer for your character. Because the oath you choose, it's going to completely change how your skills work and how you play the game.
So here's a perfect example of 2 totally different paths. You've got the Zealot, who's all about attacking super fast, landing crits that actually echo for extra damage. Then on the other side, you have the Juggernaut. This is your tanky brawler who builds up this resource called Resolve to just unleash these massive, oversized attacks. It's that classic choice, right? Speed versus raw power.
And hey, those aren't your only choices. There's also the Judicator, who has this cool mark and detonate style of play. You apply a judgment debuff and then cash it in for a burst of damage. And then there's the Disciple, who's all about transforming into this super powerful Arbiter form after you use your big cooldowns.
All right, let's be real. It wouldn't be Diablo without the loot hunt, right? The grind for that one perfect piece of gear. So let's look at some of the awesome build-defining uniques you can find for your Paladin.
And man, they've shown off some incredible stuff. There's this one-handed flail, Promise of Glory, that makes your Divine Lance even more of a single-target nuke. There's a shield, the Bastion of Sir Matthias, that automatically hits back when you block. And, get this, the Red Sermon two-hander not only massively buffs your Zeal, but gives you a key upgrade for free. And look at that, they even tell us which bosses to go farm. Super helpful.
Okay, so we've talked about their beliefs, their skills, their gear. Let's kind of wrap this all up and talk about what it all means. The call has gone out, and the path of the Paladin is officially open.
So what's the big takeaway here?
The Paladin is not just another melee class. They're a true hybrid. They can be a frontline tank, a lightning-fast damage dealer, or the rock-solid core of a group thanks to those tactical auras. Honestly, the way you decide to build one could totally change how your whole party plays.
And you know what the best part is? You don't have to wait to play one. The Paladin class is available in the game right now. You get instant access as soon as you pre-purchase the next expansion, Lord of Hatred.
Now, the full expansion itself, Lord of Hatred, is slated for April 28, 2026. But get this, when you pre-purchase, you don't just get the Paladin now, you also get a second new class that's still under wraps, and that one will drop when the expansion launches.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really fitting question, doesn't it? Hatred is threatening to just consume all of Sanctuary. Mephisto's influence is spreading, and the arrival of this champion feels like it's right on time. So the only question left is, how are you going to wield the light?